was someone inside my attic, and I didn't know for weeks. Guys, I've never told this story online before. Most people would probably think I'm lying anyway. But after years of therapy, after moving across the country, after trying everything to forget what happened in that house, I still wake up at night hearing those footsteps above my ceiling. This happened in October 2021. At the time, I was living alone in a small town outside of Denver, Colorado. I had just gotten a remote IT job, and I wanted somewhere quiet and cheap to stay. That's when I found the house. It looked perfect online. Old American style home, 2 floors, wooden staircase, huge attic, quiet neighborhood. And the rent, way too cheap. But I didn't care. Back then, I thought I had gotten lucky. The owner, an older man named Walter, met me outside the property. He looked nervous the entire time. While giving me the keys, he kept glancing toward the attic window. Then he suddenly asked, "You sleep heavily?" I laughed and said, "Yeah, why?" He forced a smile. "That's good." At the time, I thought he was just weird. I moved in that same evening. The first 2 days were completely normal. I worked during the day, watched Netflix at night, ordered takeout, and explored the house. The attic entrance was in the hallway ceiling with one of those pull-down ladders. Locked. I noticed that immediately. A thick metal lock wrapped around it. I asked Walter about it later through text. He replied, "Storage. Don't open it." That should have been enough for me to leave, but curiosity always destroys people. Around the 4th night, I started hearing noises. Very soft at first. Tiny creaks above my bedroom ceiling, like somebody shifting their weight carefully. I ignored it. Old houses make noise, right? But every night, the sounds became louder. Footsteps. Slow walking. Dragging noises. Sometimes scratching. And it always happened between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. One night, I finally got angry enough to investigate. I grabbed a baseball bat and stood beneath the attic door listening carefully. Silence. Then, thump. Something heavy moved above me. I felt my entire body freeze. I whispered, "Hello?" No answer. Another thump. Directly overhead. I pulled down the attic ladder halfway before remembering the lock. Still locked. Nobody could be up there. Unless someone had a key. That night I barely slept. The next morning I checked all doors and windows. Locked. No signs of break-in. But while making coffee in the kitchen, I noticed something that made my stomach drop. The attic ladder was slightly open, just a little. Barely noticeable. I know I pushed it shut the night before. I stared at it for nearly a minute, then slowly climbed up and checked the lock. Still attached. Still locked. I started convincing myself maybe it never closed properly. But deep down, I knew something wasn't right. Later that week, things got worse. Food started disappearing. Not much. Small things. Half-eaten leftovers. Missing milk. Bread gone overnight. I blamed myself at first, until I found muddy footprints in the upstairs hallway. Large boot prints leading toward the attic ladder and stopping directly beneath it. That night, I called Walter again. This time he sounded irritated. I told him somebody might be entering the house. There was silence for a few seconds. Then he quietly asked, "You hearing footsteps?" Every hair on my body stood up. I asked him what he meant, but he immediately hung up. I tried calling back. No answer. That night, I couldn't sleep. Around 3:11 a.m., I heard it again. Walking above me, slow, heavy, deliberate. Then came a new sound. Breathing. Very faint breathing through the ceiling vent above my bed. I sat frozen, staring upward. Then something whispered, "Don't look up." I swear on my life. That voice came from directly above me. I grabbed my phone and ran downstairs instantly. I spent the rest of the night sitting in my car outside the house. The attic light turned on around 4 a.m. I saw it through the small circular attic window. Someone was up there, moving, watching. The next morning, I drove straight to Walter's house. He looked terrified the moment he opened the door. Before I could even speak, he said, "You need to leave." I demanded answers. And finally, he told me the truth. Years earlier, the previous owner had a son named Daniel. Daniel was mentally unstable and violent. After his parents died, neighbors reported hearing screaming and strange noises from inside the house. Then, Daniel disappeared. Police searched everywhere, never found him. The house was eventually sold, but every new owner complained about footsteps in the attic. Walter thought the stories were nonsense, until one tenant vanished completely. No body, no evidence, just gone. I asked Walter if he thought Daniel was still alive. He looked me directly in the eyes and whispered, "I think he never left." I packed my things immediately. But before leaving forever, I wanted proof. I needed to know nobody was inside that attic. So that evening, I bought a motion camera from Walmart and placed it facing the attic ladder. Then, I sat downstairs, watching the live feed on my laptop. Hours passed. Nothing. Around 2:46 a.m., the camera suddenly glitched. Static covered the screen. Then the attic ladder slowly moved downward by itself. My heart nearly stopped. The ladder opened halfway, and a face appeared upside down from the darkness above. Pale skin, sunken eyes, huge smile. The man stared directly into the camera, watching me. I couldn't breathe. Then he whispered, "I know you're awake." The camera disconnected. At the exact same moment, I heard footsteps upstairs. Not above me. Upstairs. Inside the actual hallway. Meaning whatever was in the attic had already come down. I grabbed my keys and ran toward the front door. But the door wouldn't open. Something was pushing against it from outside. Then I heard laughing behind me. Slow, wet, broken laughter. I turned around and saw him standing at the top of the staircase. Tall, filthy, extremely thin. His head tilted unnaturally to one side. And his smile, God. His smile stretched almost ear to ear. His bare feet were covered in dried blood. He slowly began walking downstairs toward me. Step, step, step. I grabbed a kitchen knife and screamed at him to stay back. He stopped halfway down the stairs, then whispered, "You sleep heavy." The exact words Walter had said. That's when I realized something horrifying. Walter knew Daniel was still living there, all these years. Inside the attic, watching people sleep, eating their food, walking through the house at night, maybe even killing them. Daniel suddenly sprinted toward me. Fast. Way too fast. I stabbed wildly and ran through the kitchen as he screamed behind me. I locked myself inside the bathroom. Then came silence. Complete silence. I could hear my own heartbeat. Then scratching started on the bathroom door. Soft at first. Then violent. Wood splintered everywhere and Daniel began whispering through the crack, "You opened me attic." I looked around desperately for another exit. The bathroom had a tiny window above the shower, barely big enough. The door started breaking apart. I climbed onto the sink and forced myself through the window, cutting my arms badly on broken glass. Right as I fell outside into the mud, the bathroom door exploded open behind me. I saw Daniel's face staring through the shattered window, smiling. I ran across the yard screaming for help. A neighbor finally called 911. Police searched the house that night. And this time, They found him inside the attic, living there for years. There were food wrappers, knives, photographs of tenants sleeping, human teeth, and bones hidden inside the walls. Daniel attacked 2 officers before they finally shot him. But here's the part that still destroys me. One officer later told me something they found carved repeatedly across the attic floorboards. The same sentence, over and over, in giant letters. The house needs people. I still think about those words sometimes, because even after Daniel died, people in that neighborhood still report hearing footsteps inside the empty house at night. And every October, the attic light somehow turns on by itself.